Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. It's Zach here, bringing you another video for The Walking Dead World Beyond. And if you guys seen the last episode in the post-credit scenes, you would know that Jadis is finally in the mix. So, spoiler warning: if you guys haven't seen episode 6, "Who Are You?" from season 2 of The World Beyond. And yeah, let's get into it. And don't forget, if you guys like Walking Dead content, please subscribe to the channel. We have about 5 videos at least a week coming out, plus I have some more ideas I'm trying to get some time to work on, so stay tuned, turn the notifications on if you guys dig that kinda thing, and yeah, so the story for World Beyond is really picking up, and Jadis is finally here. I'm gonna be honest, this episode has me actually wanting more. Like, I've not disliked the season, I've not been crazy about it, but I've kind of enjoyed it. But this actually wants me to see what's going on. We'll talk more about Jadis in a couple minutes, but really, what we're finding out now is now with the discovery of these codes or whatever, they wanna, especially Iris, this is more so Iris's, like, go than any of them, but she wants to burn the place to the ground, so they gotta get a message out to Will and Elton and the perimeter that they're there, and Felix, like, tells Iris, like, because they do it in some code that Elton knows how to decipher, but, basically, Felix is like, "Keep it short, we're safe, been delayed," or something like that. What Iris ends up saying is, we look at something at the big picture, we're here, we're safe, we're gonna burn this place to the ground." And that really complicates, like, the safety of things because, Elton reveals to Will at some point that basically it's Indira's getting dialysis equipment, the little secret we found out earlier throughout the season, and so that really complicates things, like, if they, like, take down the research facility, Will wants to get back in there. In the meantime, um, basically, they wanna the group that's inside the CRM wants to kinda figure out what's getting this going on, and Leo, like, flashing back to the scene that they show in the beginning of the episode where, basically we see Leo and Lila's first, like, field mission together, kinda like where they met, I'm assuming, and basically, while he's, like, been like, they're talking about having dinner so she could meet Iris and Felix and all that stuff, and, like, they're bending over to pick over her stuff, and it's like a flashback to that, and then he recalls seeing those same kind of papers that Huck discovered. And it's starting to kinda, like, bridge, like, he's getting an idea that she might be one of the people behind this, one of the secret people. So he ends up, like, saying, "Yeah, let's have dinner tonight," and, like, he puts Felix up to a mission to go team up with Huck to break into her lab. However, Huck has the or Felix kinda sparks the idea for Huck that they shouldn't be looking at her lab necessarily. It's gotta be, like, where no one's supposed to be, and they end up finding this, like, spot where there's not supposed to be, like, anything there, but she's goes there once a day, every day, or something like that. So, she ge we get a little backstory of why Huck had to do this mission to redeem herself in the CRM. Apparently, Dennis messed up with something, he was an alcoholic, and, like, they're trying to cover up their tracks, and Huck got everything right except for, like, she needed to grant herself key access to get in some of these rooms. Well, she didn't delete those logs of showing where she's been, and that ended up like that was basically, I guess, like her cover up for Dennis, as she ended up having to pay the price by doing this crazy mission. And we like even get hints with Jadis, like how Huck's like the best soldier the CRM has. Like she's like the best. Apparently, she trained her. We'll talk more about that in a minute. So, anyways, while like Lila's at dinner with the family, Ira starts questioning if she's like tested on animals before this because she was like some pharma trying to find cure to diseases and stuff. And like they really kind of like struck a nerve with each other. And like Iris dismisses herself, and Hope goes and talks to her and finds out like she didn't just send the regular message. She said, "Well, we're gonna destroy this place." And Hope's like, "Hey, I understand that there's like evil people here, but not everyone here is bad." And I remember like that being brought up. I think that was one of Carl's like things back when Rick wanted to burn down the sanctuary, for lack of better words. It was like we understand there's some really bad people here doing bad things, but not everybody here is bad people doing bad things. There's some really good people here actually. So we're probably gonna see some kind of conflict between like Iris's ideas, and as far as we know, Felix is on a similar like path. But anyway, so Huck's like going to drop the generator power, and she's basically what that does is make it so like no key access needs to be to get into that room. So he's got 2 minutes till the backup generator's on there. So Felix is in there. He ends up finding like this chemical that they well, he finds like a bunch of bodies even before that, like basically how we've seen in Lila's things. So these are like frozen. And I don't know, like they had some kind of testing on them. I wonder if they're using that like antifungal stuff or whatever they're trying to do to like make them decay faster. But something's weird about these types of subjects because I don't think this is the same like solution that Leo's trying to get. But then he ends up finding like these chemical vials and presumably like what they maybe that's what they're using on them. But he ends up finding big canisters of it, and presumably that's what they use to kill Omaha, and they have plenty of it to do a lot more places. Portland, who maybe that's what the finale's leading up to is like the destruction of Portland. But yeah, so like Huck ends up like getting away from the generator before the people get there, and the power cuts on a little bit sooner. So like Felix is stuck in here for a while. She ended up having to do the access key thing, and she wants to make sure she wipes it this time. But like Felix has questioned like if Huck betrayed him or like what the deal is, and ultimately Huck is on their side, but there is going to be this trust issues at least for a while. I couldn't see why not, but she's like I am with you and blah blah blah, and basically like when she goes away, this is when she goes to meet with Jadis. But I want to bring up real quick, like Leo and Lila end up having this conversation about her family before the apocalypse, how they turned to walkers back when this wasn't like really like the apocalypse was fresh, and she basically locked them up and did some terrible things, like a bunch of things to try to bring them back. And apparently, like that's something that eats at her, but she's apparently still doing that shit. You know what I mean? We've seen that. Anyways, let's get into the bread and butter. So Jada stuff. There was a mention of Rick, like not like word for word Rick, but there was like the first Easter eggs that involved that. And basically, so what we've come to find out, I remember in the last breakdown, or maybe it was the preview breakdown, but I was talking about how she was like, well, my name's Anne to Gabriel back then. So I'm guessing that was what her name was pre-apocalypse, and she adopted Jadis. She goes by Jadis now because that's what gave her, that's like who she became in the apocalypse, and that's her now. That's her identity. But she's a warrant officer, and she's like a specialist and detective of finding like corrupt things inside, or like, so while Elizabeth is away at the CR, apparently she requested that Jadis be here because Huck is the one that trained Jadis when she joined the CRM 6 years ago. And basically what got Jadis into the CRM is Rick. She delivered something very valuable is what she said, which would have been Rick. Now how she had ties with the CRM before she created her civilization, which she does bring that up too. I don't know, but like basically talked about how if you want to create a civilization really easy, give them their own language, you create a theater for them to be a part of, which that reminds me of the kingdom so much when the kingdom first came around. Um, and yeah, you give them something to bond over, and I kind of think that might be like foreshadowing of what's going on in this place, low key. But we come to find out that like she's part of the reason she is there to Elizabeth asked her to keep an eye on Huck, but like she also is like, hey, I'll help clear the suspicion of you if you just talk me up, because ultimately what Jadis wants is a promotion. She wants to get higher up. She's like, I'm a piece of the new world. That's, I'm a survivor. And that like even Huck says that a bunch, like you're a witty survivor or something like that. And yeah, I don't know. So basically, I'm wondering if Jadis is going to end up figuring out, that Huck is kind of two timing because she's questioning things right now. And we know Jadis takes the better opportunity of what she's ever given because we watched her switch from Rick's side to Negan's side to Rick's side. So like, and obviously she was that was Rick was her ticket to get into the CRM. She knew that. So I'm curious to see if we get any more tidbits that kind of give us an idea. We know Rick was whatever was the one that wasn't, I forgot if he was an A or B, but he was whatever one wasn't a test subject. So curious to see what's going to go on with that. but I don't think we get like a lot of information about Rick, but we should get some tidbits. Another thing I want to point out is like she was saying that was 6 years ago, and that would be meaning that the time on season 11 of The Walking Dead and of this point are very similar in the timeline, meaning we might see the CRM, Jadis, or something pop up in the last part of the season. I wouldn't be surprised. Well, I would be surprised, but I wouldn't put it past them, is what I'm saying. I'd be really hyped if that happened. But yeah, the show's really picking up. We only have like 4 more episodes, and Jadis, I know is going to be in the next one. I would assume she's around for the rest of the season, and really curious to see like what we're starting to get the blanket pulled back on the CRM and kind of like I would like to know who are more of the bad apples. I want to know who this Major General Beale is because I don't believe that they've revealed them yet. So curious, but let me know what you guys think in the comments. What you guys thought of this episode? Are you guys feeling it? Does it feel better after these last 2 episodes? Or are you guys just not feeling it? Or are you just watching it because it's Walking Dead when Walking Dead ain't on? Let me know down in the comments. Let me know what you guys think. Peace. And also, there'll be a Fear the Walking Dead review later tonight, so be subscribed if you want to check that out. Boy.